First top 10 video and first video response in ages. Stay tuned for it. Hello there YouTube, it is me, Random Ross, or if you're watching this on Random Horror Ross. I thought I'd put this on both my channels. So yeah, I was tagged by the 13th Wolfman, and he has done a top 10 tag called Top 10 Super Underrated Slashers of the 80s, where, you know, you rank up top 10 slashers which you think, you know, don't get the credit they deserve. So I've managed, you know, after hard work and time, I've actually, you know, managed to round 10 up and rank them down, and I'm going like from the least underrated to the most underrated. So without any further ado, let's get on with the 10. Starting off at number 10, and this is probably quite a well-known one, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. Friday the 13th, 1980. You know, written by Victor Miller, directed by Sean S. Cunningham, and starring, you know, a young Kevin Bacon and Betsy Palmer and that. Now, yeah, this is a well-known horror series, yes, but I feel that, you know, when someone says Friday the 13th, they tend to think of Jason. But he wasn't the antagonist that started the whole thing off. It was his mother, Pamela Voorhees. And this is, you know, a well-known film, but I feel that it's not, you know, that Pamela Voorhees isn't as remembered as Jason was, because she was in the first film. Jason was as well, but he took over full-time in the sequels. Okay, number 9, Prom Night. I'm surprised a lot of people don't talk about Prom Night much. It's a 1980 slasher starring Jamie Lee Curtis. Of course, back then she was known for being on Halloween. It was a year before Halloween 2. They remade this film with Brittany Snow and Idris Elba. But yeah, I feel that I don't get enough. I mean, I don't know if it's because I haven't seen or looked up enough reviews on this film, but I'm putting it there at number 9. Number 8 is Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Now, this is the 5th installment of the series, and I feel like people just do a huge shit on this film. Okay, so yeah, Jason isn't featured as a protagonist. You know, he's more like in the hallucination of Tommy Jarvis. But hey, I think Roy Burns does a good copycat killing of Jason. And I feel like, you know, people just tend to like forget about this one when it comes to the series. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this, but I like this one. I do like this one for the slasher theme of it. It's a slasher film, and I think of it as nothing more. Number 7 is Christmas Evil, 1980. So I feel that this is the slasher film that started off the Killer Santa. I mean, we had Black Christmas in 1974, but to me, this one was, you know, I think definitely swept under the rug. Basically, it's like Silent Night, Deadly Night, but to me, it was before that, and I think, you know, Silent Night, Deadly Night was inspired by that movie, Christmas Evil. Okay, so number 6 is April Fool's Day, 1986. Again, I don't see a lot of reviews on this film, and I think it definitely deserves a bit more mentions. So, you know, for that reason, I'm putting April Fool's Day at number 6. Number 5 is The House on Sorority Row. Now, when I first heard of this film, I only ever knew of the 2009 remake called Sorority Row. But when I watched this one, I thought this one's a fairly decent one, and why aren't I heard of this one? You know, I mean, why didn't I hear of this one before I knew of the remake? So I'm putting that there. Number 4 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 from 1986. You know, it caused a lot of controversy in 1974 with the first film. But the second movie, 12 years later, and again, I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. I mean, if this was like a 90s one, I would have probably put Texas Chainsaw Next Generation, even though that's not the best one. It's still an underrated one, but I like this one probably a tiny bit more than the first one. I mean, the picture is better for starters, but hey, 1974, it was a low-budget film. They had to do with what they had. So yeah, Texas Chainsaw 2. Number 3, I'm putting up there, The Stepfather. Starring that guy who played John Locke from Lost. Now, when I first saw this film, I saw the remake. I had no idea it was a remake until I watched it on Horror Channel and found out it was a remake. And this is more on the psychological thriller side, but I definitely consider it a slasher horror film. Next we have Don't Open Till Christmas. Now for me this is definitely a forgotten gem, underrated. Again, it's like a Killer Santa film as such, I think. I don't know, I've only ever seen it once, but I don't see a lot of people talk about it much, so I'm putting that there. Number 1 is The Funhouse. Not Funhouse Massacre, The Funhouse. Again, underrated, psycho slashers. What more could you ask for? So that's 1980, and that's number 1. So there you have it. That's my top 10 super underrated slasher films of the 80s. And now I've got to tag some people. So I'm going to tag Todd All Things Horror, Joe Manganero, Matthew Movies, and Matt the Collector. I mean, he hasn't been subbed to my channel long, Matt the Collector, but he's shown me great support, you know, in the past, you know, probably less than a week. And he's a great guy, you know, and I'm tagging him in that. I'm tagging all them 4. So yeah. Top 10 underrated. So there you have it. If there's any I didn't mention or then please feel free to comment. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you like. Don't forget to share with your friends. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can get notified when new videos are up. And yes. Also follow me up on social media. Facebook, Twitter. They're all linked down below. Facebook group and that. So yeah, until next time, I bid you all a goodbye, friends. Goodbye. If you're watching on Random TV. And if you're watching on Random Horror, don't have nightmares.